Have you ever changed the neckline of a pattern only for the finished garment to start gaping? Maybe the original bodice fitted well, the shoulder looked fitted, the bust looked great, and the armhole looked perfect. But the moment you change the neckline, the new neckline starts lifting, opening, waving, or standing away from the body. And honestly, this can be very frustrating because it can make you feel like the old pattern is wrong. But sometimes the problem is not the old pattern. Sometimes the problem is that the neckline changed, but the control around the neckline did not change with it. Because a neckline is not just a shape you draw on a pattern, a neckline is an opening on the body. And when you make that opening wider, deeper, lower, or more dramatic, the fabric around that opening needs more control. So in this video, I want to explain why necklines gape after you change the design, what actually causes it, and what you need to do before you cut your fabric. Because if you understand this, you will stop treating neckline gaping as a random sewing problem and you start seeing it as a pattern control problem. The first thing you need to understand about all of this is that a neckline is not just a style shape. It is an opening. And anytime you create an opening in a garment, you are removing support from that area. A high neckline has more fabric sitting closer to the body. It has more support around the neck and shoulder area. But when you lower the neckline, widen it, open it into a V, make it a square, or move it off the shoulder, you are removing some of that support. And now the garment has less fabric holding that area close to the body. So if nothing else changes in the pattern, the neckline may not know how to sit flat against the body anymore. This is why you cannot always take a basic bodice block, draw a new neckline, and expect the fabric to behave, because the new neckline may look beautiful on paper, but on the body it may need contouring, that control, stabilization, facing, stay tape, or a different construction method to sit properly. One confusing thing about neckline gaping is that the original block may have fitted well. So you may think, but the block was correct. Why is the neckline now gaping? The answer to this is that when you change the neckline, you change the behavior of the pattern. You removed fabric, change the edge, change the balance of the upper bodice, or you may have exposed an area of the body that the original neckline was not designed to control. So the original block can be fine, but the adaptation can still create a problem. This is why we need to separate a block problem from an adaptation problem. And I talked about this in one of my previous videos. So if the original neckline already gaped before you changed anything, then yes, you may need to check the block. But if the neckline only started gaping after you lowered, widened, or reshaped it, then the problem is probably in the adaptation. So the pattern did not fail because it was useless. It failed because the new design needed extra control. One of the most common reasons a neckline gapes is that it has been lowered or widened without contouring. When a neckline is close to the neck, it sits on a more stable area. But when you open it up, especially toward the bust, shoulder, or chest area, the fabric may need to be shaped closer to the body. So if you simply draw a lower neckline and cut it out, the edge can become loose. It may stand away from the chest. It may become wavy or may open when the person moves, and this happens because the body is not flat. The chest area has curves, the bust area has fullness, the shoulder slopes, and the neckline edge has to travel around all of that. So when you create a more open neckline, you may need to remove small amounts of excess from the neckline area. This is what contouring helps you do. So contouring is not just about making the pattern smaller. It is about removing the extra fabric that appears when the neckline opens away from the stable neck area. So before you cut a lower or wider neckline, ask yourself, does this new neckline need to be contoured? Will it sit close to the body, or will it stand away because I have not controlled the edge? Now, another reason neckline gapes is that the dart control was not redirected properly, and this is especially common around the bust. A dart controls fabric around a fuller area of the body. On a bodice, the bust creates shaping that has to be handled somewhere. So if you change the neckline in a way that it affects the bust area, the neckline may now need some of that shaping control. For example, if you create a deep V neck, sweetheart neckline, wide square neckline, or a neckline that comes closer to the bust, the hold that position may no longer be enough to control the nail edge. The fabric may then need to be pinched out from the neckline and then transferred somewhere else. It may need to be moved into a dart. It may need to be absorbed into a princess seam. It may need to become gathers, or it may need to be controlled with a facing or internal structure. But the important thing is that the shaping has to go somewhere. So if you open the neckline and ignore the shaping, the fabric will still respond, and it most often responds by gaping. This is why dart manipulation and neckline control are connected. So a gaping neckline is not always because the neckline is too big. Sometimes it is because the shaping has not been redirected. Another reason a neckline can gape is that the shoulder and neckline balance changed. When you widen a neckline, especially toward the shoulder, you reduce the amount of fabric sitting on the shoulder, and this can make the garment less stable because the shoulder is one of the areas that helps hold the bodice on the body. So if you remove too much from the neckline or shoulder area without adjusting the pattern, the bodice may start shifting, the neckline may open, the shoulder may start sliding away from your body, the chest area may collapse, or the garment may feel like it's not sitting securely on your body. This is especially important for wide necklines, both necklines, off shoulder styles, square necklines, and low necklines, because these necklines often need more planning than a simple round neckline. So before you widen a neckline, ask yourself, how much shoulder is left? Will the garment still be supported? Does the neckline need stabilization? Does the shoulder seam need to be adjusted? Does this design need straps, facing, interfacing, elastic, boning, or another form of support? Because sometimes the gaping is not just about the neckline curve, it is about the whole upper bodice losing support. Now let's talk about sewing and construction. Sometimes the pattern is actually fine, but the neckline stretches during cutting or sewing. This is because necklines often have curved edges, and curved edges can stretch, especially if part of the neckline sits on a biased direction. So if you mishandle the fabric too much, pull it while sewing, skip stay stitching, or use the wrong finishing method, the neckline edge may grow. And once the edge grows, it may start to gape or wave. So not every gaping neckline is a drafting problem. Sometimes it's a construction problem. This is why stay stitching is important for many necklines. It is why facings need to be handled carefully. It's why you should avoid pulling the neckline while sewing, and it's why stabilization matters, especially for open, curved, or bias influenced neckline. So when diagnosing neckline gaping, ask yourself, did the neckline gape on the tool before finishing, or did it start gaping after sewing? If it gaped before finishing, check the pattern. If it started gaping after sewing, check the handling, stay stitching, facing, binding, pressing, and fabric behavior. Now, fabric also affects neckline gaping, and the same neckline can behave differently in different fabrics. A crepe fabric may hold a square or structured neckline better. A soft drapey fabric may collapse or open away from the body. A stretchy fabric may grow as you sew it or wear it. A loose weave fabric may distort easily. A bias cut or drapey fabric may need more stabilization. So when you change a neckline, you cannot only ask, does this shape look nice? You also need to ask, can this fabric support this neckline? A wide square neckline in a firm cotton is not the same as a wide square neckline in a soft satin. A deep V-neck in a stable woven fabric is not the same as a deep V-neck in a stretchy knit fabric. A boat neckline in a crepe fabric is not the same as a boat neckline in a fabric that drops and stretches. So the fabric may not be the only cause of gaping, but it can make the problem worse. And the more open or unstable the neckline is, the more important the fabric decision becomes. So how do you know what caused the neckline to gape? Well, you can use this simple diagnosis. First, did the original block neckline fits before you changed it. If not, then check the block, because the shoulder shape may be wrong, the neckline may be too wide, or the upper chest area maybe has too much fabric. Second, did the gaping appear only after you changed the neckline? If yes, then check the adaptation, because you may have lowered or widened the neckline without contouring. You may have removed support from the shoulder area, or maybe you did not redirect the dart control. Third, did the neckline look okay in the twirl but gape after sewing your final fabric? If yes, check the construction. Maybe the edge stretched, the facing pulled it out, it needed stay stitching, or maybe the pressing distorted the edge. Fourth, does the fabric behave differently from what the neckline needs? If yes, check the fabric and stabilization. Maybe the fabric is too soft, stretchy, heavy, slippery, or unusable for the exact neckline without support. This matters because you cannot fix every neckline gape the same way. Sometimes you need to contour, sometimes you need to move a dart, sometimes you need to stabilize, sometimes you need to adjust the shoulder, other times you need a facing, sometimes you need to change the neckline shape slightly, and sometimes you need to choose another fabric entirely. So the correction depends on the cause of the gaping. Now, before you cut your final fabric, here are some things you need to check. First, mark the bust points and important body areas on the pattern. This helps you see whether the neckline is moving close to an area that needs shaping. Second, check how open the neckline is, because the more open it is, the more control it may need. Third, pinch out excess on the pattern or twirl where the neckline wants to gape, because this can help you see whether contouring is needed. Fourth, decide where that excess will go. Will it move into a dart, a seam, a princess line, a gather, a pleat, a facing, or a design feature? Fifth, check the shoulder support. If the neckline is very wide, low, or open, ask whether the garment still has enough support to stay on the body. Sixth, stabilize the neckline edge. This may mean stay stitching, facing, interfacing, tape, binding, or another finishing method depending on the design. Seventh, make a twirl if the neckline is a new one you've never made before. It's too low, open, or risky, because the neckline may look good on paper, but the twirl will show you how it behaves on the body, and this is the part that saves you from cutting your good fabric and hoping for the best. So when you look at an inspiration design with an interesting neckline, don't just copy the neckline shape. Read the design first and ask yourself how open the neckline is, how close it is to the bust, how much shoulder support is left. Is the neckline fitted close to the body or softly draped? Is there a seam controlling it? Is there a dart hidden somewhere? Is there gathering? Is there burning? Is there a facing or structure inside it? Or is the fabric stable enough for this shape? Because a neckline is not just a drawing, it's a design decision. And when the neckline changes, the pattern around it may need to change too. This is why two garments can have the same neckline shape on paper but behave differently on the body. The difference is usually in the control. So if your necklines, bodice, blocks, darts, shoulder balance, armholes, or basic pattern foundations still don't fit, my pattern drafting foundations course is linked in the description box below. That course helps you build stronger blocks so that when you start changing designs, you are not guessing from a weak foundation. And if your bigger struggle is looking at an advanced design and understanding what needs to change in the pattern before you draft, download my free design decoding guide. It will help you start reading garment designs more clearly before you turn them into patterns. And both links are in the description box down below. So remember, a neckline is not just a shape, it is an opening. And the more you open that neckline, the more control it may need. So if your neckline gapes after you change the design, don't immediately blame the old pattern. Check the block, the adaptation, the dart control, the shoulder support, the fabric, or the construction. Because once you understand why the neckline is gaping, you can fix the source instead of fighting the symptom. And that is how you start making stronger pattern decisions. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe button below your screen. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.